Mamoru Hosoda is a filmmaker who makes anime movies that I like a lot. Hosoda has directed several movies that I would call some of my favorite films to come out over the last 15 years. And I'm not ready to talk about any of them. Do you ever relate so strongly to a piece of art that you just can't put it into words? That's what I'm wrestling with here. I really like the works of this man, who people often compare to this man, and I don't have any idea how to tell you people watching why. Especially not in 10 to 15 minutes, reading a script into a mic in my closet. I can't even explain the feeling of not being able to explain what these films mean to me. But it's a bit like walking out of a theater with your friends and realizing you're the only person who liked what you just watched. Everyone around you is ragging on the movie, and all of your points for why you think it's a good movie just sort of get stuck on your tongue, and you can't get the words out right. This analogy isn't even correct because plenty of people really like Hosoda's works. But that feeling is still there. It's that feeling of not knowing how to express what a piece of art means to you. To be unable to break free from objective criticism so you can get into your subjective love for a work. That feeling is, it's overwhelming. I'm not ready to talk about Mamoru Hosoda. That's what this video is about. My final one for the year. That's what I titled it after several failed attempts at making a different video instead. Like this one. Or this one.
Like this is what it does when it catches hold of you. It's eating me alive, and very soon now it will kill me.
I'm not ready to talk about Mamoru Hosoda. Not because his movies are really complex, conceptually or emotionally. They aren't. But they are adjective. Descriptor. They make me feel clever exaggeration? See, I can't do it. I'm going to try again in a few minutes. I cannot promise it will be any better. Don't get me wrong, I love to hear myself talk. I made a channel exactly for that purpose. And also because I watch, play, and read a lot of nerdy stuff that I want to talk about with anyone who will listen. Thanks for doing so, by the way. Those are the only 2 steps required to make the sort of videos I want to make with tracking shots. I just need to look at things I'm interested in and talk about them a lot. Maybe too much. What you're seeing now is a list of almost everything I experienced for the first time this year, and it's embarrassingly long for someone trying to have a social life. But hey, cut me some slack. Things are still a little crazy. I would feel comfortable making a video on just about anything in this list, and I already have done so for a few of them in fact. I'm only 6 videos into this whole YouTube thing, but it's already getting hard for me not to look at any game or show or comic as a potential new script. Something to share with others through this small but slowly growing channel. I'm going to keep working on and growing tracking shots. I've become too addicted to posting videos and reading feedback. Plus, I'm not really nervous to talk about anything on this list, even though I did discover some new, or new to me, personal favorites. Not all of it was great, but most of it was memorable. Starting a YouTube channel is something I've wanted to do for a long time. In fact, I did try before, when I was 16, and I had a lot of thoughts about Automata for some reason. It was not pretty.
Hello there. Welcome to An Idiot with an iPhone anime discussion. Today we'll be discussing the first half of the show Automata by A1 Pictures.
Look at this dude. Look at the top of his head.
Tracking shots is at least a slight step up from whatever that was, and I'd like to think I'm improving slightly with each video. Hopefully my performance has gotten a little less stiff since I started. Maybe. Like I said before, this is my final video for year 1 of tracking shots. But that doesn't mean this is the end for the channel. Far from it. I'm going to be publishing slightly more often going forward. Year 1 was 6 videos, I'm hoping year 2 can be a bit more. Maybe I'll throw some shorts in so YouTube will like my channel more. Believe me when I say I've still got plenty of subjects I want to cover. Which brings me back to...
So, you gonna say something? The very least you can do is
Alright, here we go. Attempt number 2. Mamoru Hosoda is a filmmaker who makes anime movies that I like a lot. Hosoda has directed several movies that I would call some of my favorite films to come out over the last 15 years. At times, he's been called the next Miyazaki, but honestly, I think that comparison does both directors a disservice. Hosoda's films have their own style, and I think that style is worthy of standing on its own, beyond the Studio Ghibli comparisons. Plus, those comparisons have really gotten kind of boring and tired. Sure, you can reduce his films to a list of similarities to Miyazaki's, but I don't think that gives enough credit to the care Hosoda and his team take when establishing their characters and their characters' relationships. Most of Hosoda's films revolve around a really simple concept: love. And no, not in the Makoto Shinkai way, where the films are almost always about two teenagers falling in love and being hindered by some mystical force. Okay, fine. The Girl Who Leapt Through Time is sort of like that. It focuses on the initial, fleeting love that happens when younger people first give their hearts to one another, and it does have a mystical spin on it with the whole time travel thing, but it really is different, I promise. Amiyuki Wolfchildren examines a different kind of love: parental. The love between a parent and child is the focus here. A woman falling in love with a wolf is just a small part of the plot and is not the point. It's not a weird movie, I swear. Okay, it's kind of weird, but just get through that bit because what follows after is a really moving story about how a mother's love for her children will always endure despite time and tragedy and well, life. Just watch it. It's really good. It'll make you want to call your parents. I promise. Next movie. The Boy and the Beast is also focused on parental love, but this time, Hosoda expands that concept to include, well, non-traditional families to say the least. The focus here is on familiar bonds beyond and even surpassing blood ties. It's about the bonds that form unexpectedly, and with unexpected people. As someone who is both a stepbrother and stepson, I really enjoy this concept. Of course, I'm contractually obligated to mention that Hosoda made a One Piece movie, and yes, it does cover Nakama. He also made a Digimon movie that I haven't seen, plus a new movie that's not out internationally yet, but does come out in a few weeks, and I cannot wait to see it. And yeah, he did a movie with a toddler as the main character that I just couldn't get into. Maybe I'll like it more when I'm a parent. That's almost every film that Mamoru Hosoda has ever made, and I got through talking about all of them. At least on a surface level. So why am I not ready to expand on these ideas and talk about Mamoru Hosoda? It's because of Summer Wars. Summer Wars is Hosoda's fourth film, and my favorite of the bunch. It also talks about love, with the focus this time being on generational love. Let me explain. The film's main character finds himself unexpectedly taken in by the giant Junichi family. Over the course of the story, Kenji and the audience spend a lot of time with and learn the different quirks of various grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins that encompass 4 generations of this family. Also, an evil AI named Love Machine is taking over the internet, but that's not important. The side characters in this movie really make it. They are treated almost like parts of a whole, with each member fading in and out of the story as needed, but never far away, and never failing to contribute to the chaotic and beautiful energy that comes out when a family of this size sits around the dinner table and lives in each other's company for a few hours or days. This is a feeling that I've really started to miss during the pandemic. At the heart of it all is the great-grandmother, who is a character I can't start talking about without crying. I come from a big family. Not as big as the Junichis, but pretty close. Last year, I lost my own grandmother during the pandemic. and her passing has left a large hole in my heart and in each of my family's hearts. 2020 was a hard year, for a lot of reasons. But spending a whole year without this person in my life was tough. And 2021 was no different. It has made it very hard for me to think about familiar love, or experience it brought to life by a director with as much skill as Mamoru Hosoda. It's like I've got this mental block in my mind, and in my heart. And it keeps me from throwing on a Blu-ray and watching one of my favorite movies ever. I didn't even watch the film again to make this video. I watched clips on mute. I haven't felt like feeling the feelings this movie brings out in me. And I'm simply not ready to talk about it. I'm not ready as a writer, and certainly not as an editor. My content still feels too amateurish for me to feel comfortable tackling certain subjects. Not most of them, but some. I want to talk about the art and the emotions that move me deeply. I want to use this channel to do it, but I don't think I'm ready yet. I want to talk about Summer Wars, and all of the other stories that bring these and other emotions rising to the surface. But not yet. I reserve the right with this channel to try and to fail. I'm hoping that tracking shots will continue to change, in big and small ways, as we move on into the new year. For now, I'm content to talk about the art I love and like on this channel with the skills I have. If that sounds cool to you, please keep watching as we start another year together. Until then, all I can do is leave you with this message. My name is Sam. I like films by Mamoru Hosoda, and a lot of other things that I want to talk about with you. I'm not very good at expressing this yet, but I want to get better. I hope I've made a connection with each of you in some way. Thank you so much for watching. We'll talk again soon.